She walked onto that plane looking like someone nobody ever pays attention to. Oversized hoodie, worn sneakers. A simple tote bag slung over one shoulder. The kind of look that makes people decide who you are before you ever open your mouth. And I remember thinking as I stepped inside how quiet the cabin felt, how polished and expensive everything looked like it was daring me to feel out of place. I took a breath, found my seat, and sat down, telling myself to stay calm, stay small, just get where I needed to go. I didn't know it yet, but that calm was about to be tested, because the moment the captain saw me I could feel it, that pause, that look people give you when they think you don't belong. He didn't introduce himself. He didn't ask my name. He just stood there, arms crossed, eyes scanning me like I was a stain on something expensive. Then he said it loud enough for everyone nearby to hear, "You're in the wrong seat." I looked up at him confused, but polite. "I don't think I am," I said. "This is the seat on my boarding info." He let out this short laugh, not amused, more like offended. "That seat is reserved for our premium client," he said. "You need to move." And right there, something clicked. Not anger, yet, not fire, just that familiar sinking feeling. The one that says, "Here we go again." I'd felt it in college classrooms and boardrooms and restaurants where people assumed I worked there instead of owned the place. I'd promised myself years ago I wouldn't let it break me anymore, but damn it, still stings every time. "I'm on the manifest," I said calmly. "You can check." He didn't. He didn't even pretend to. He just looked at my clothes, my shoes, my skin, and made his decision. "This is a private charter," he said. "We have standards. I need you to move before we delay departure." People were watching now. The flight attendant froze, clearly uncomfortable but too afraid to step in. Another passenger, dressed head to toe in designer labels, rolled her eyes like I was personally ruining her day. "Is this a joke?" she said. "Why is she sitting there?" The captain's tone softened instantly when he answered her. "Don't worry, ma'am. We're handling it." Handling me. Like I was luggage, or a problem to be removed. I felt heat creep up my neck, but I kept my voice steady. "I'm not refusing to cooperate," I said. "I'm just asking you to verify the list." He leaned closer, lowering his voice like he was doing me a favor. "Listen," he said. "I don't know who you are, or how you got on this flight, but you don't belong in that seat. If you don't move, I'll call security." That word. Security. It's amazing how fast it turns a human being into a threat in someone else's mind. For a second, I thought about standing my ground right there, forcing him to check making a scene. But I also knew how those scenes usually end for people who look like me. So I stood up slowly, picked up my bag, and said, "Fine. Where do you want me?" He pointed toward the back. "There's a crew jump seat. You can sit there." The jump seat. A narrow, uncomfortable fold-down seat meant for staff during takeoff. Not passengers, not anyone paying to be there. The designer woman smirked. "Seems fair," she said. "Some people just don't know their place." That one hurt, more than I expected. I walked to the back, sat down, buckled in, and stared at the wall while the plane taxied. The engines roared louder back there. The luxury faded into metal and noise. And as we lifted off, pressed into that hard seat, I felt something else rise up inside me. Not humiliation, clarity. Because here's the thing, people don't realize. I didn't get where I am by reacting emotionally to every insult. I got there by watching, by waiting, by letting people show me exactly who they are when they think they're in control. Once we hit cruising altitude, the cabin settled into that fake calm. Laughter up front. Glasses clinking. The curtain closed between worlds. I pulled my phone out of my bag, not to scroll, not to distract myself, but to do what I do best. I sent one message, just one. 10 minutes later, the cockpit door opened. The captain didn't look confident anymore. His face was pale, his jaw tight. He walked straight toward the back, stopped in front of me, and for the first time since I'd boarded, he actually looked me in the eyes. "Can we talk?" he asked. I tilted my head. "Sure," I said. "What's up?" His voice dropped. "I just got a call from operations." "Ah," I said. "That makes sense." He swallowed. They said you're the owner." The silence after that was loud. "Yes," I said. "I am." He opened his mouth, closed it, then tried again. "I didn't know," he said quickly. "If I had known." That's kind of the point, I interrupted. "You didn't need to know. you needed to check." He glanced toward the front of the plane where the designer woman was sipping champagne like nothing in the world could touch her. "I was just trying to protect the experience for our client," he said. "And what about my experience?" I asked. "What about doing your job correctly?" He had no answer. I stood up, stretching my legs, finally free of that awful seat. "Let's go talk up front," I said. When we stepped into the main cabin, every conversation stopped. The woman looked at me like she'd seen a ghost. "Why is she back here?" she snapped. The captain cleared his throat. "Ma'am," he said, this is the owner of the aircraft." Her smile froze. "That's not funny." "I'm not joking," he said. She looked at me again, really looked this time like her brain was trying to reconcile the image in front of her with everything she thought she knew about power and wealth. "You," she said. "You own this." I nodded, yes. She laughed, sharp and brittle. "No offense, but you don't look like what I asked." "Someone you respect?" Her phone was already in her hand. She searched my name. Her face drained of color as the results loaded. Articles, photos, net worth estimates she couldn't even process. "Oh my God," she whispered. I took my seat back, the same one I'd been kicked out of, crossed my legs, and looked at her. "You're a guest," I said calmly. "Act like it." She didn't speak after that, not a word. I turned to the captain. "You put me in that jump seat for 6 hours," I said. "So now you're going to sit there." His eyes widened. "What?" "I want you to feel it," I said. "The discomfort, the powerlessness, the reminder." He hesitated, then nodded, and walked back without another word. The curtain closed again, but this time the roles were very clear. When we landed, I didn't rush. I let the plane come to a full stop. I gathered my bag. I thanked the flight attendant, who looked like she might cry from relief. Then I stepped off the plane. On the tarmac, his badge was waiting to be collected. His future decided by his own choices. As I walked away, I didn't feel triumph. I felt something quieter. Balance. Because this was never about revenge. It was about accountability. About the cost of assumptions. About how dangerous it is to confuse appearance with worth. So, here's my question for you. If you were in my position, would you have done the same thing? Would you have let it go, or would you have made sure the lesson landed? And how many times have you seen someone judged, dismissed, or mistreated because they didn't look the part? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your stories. And if this made you think twice about how you treat people you think are beneath you, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs the reminder. Because respect shouldn't depend on a hoodie, a seat, or a title.